A very good evening to you all and welcome from me, Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma, to our second and final edition of UBC News Tonight this Tuesday, the 4th day of April 2023. And these are our top stories. Top stories tonight. The First Lady Janet Museveni implores youth to shun homosexuality. Presidents Kagame of Rwanda and Ruto of Kenya hail pacification of the DRC. ICT committee meets UBC top management led by the line minister Dr. Chris Baryomuzi. And in sports, Gators Swim Club shines in South Africa. Hello there and welcome once again. We are coming to you live online and on air from Broadcast House here on Nile Avenue. The First Lady and Minister for Education and Sports, Mrs. Janet Museveni, has implored the young people to shun homosexuality and those in support of the LGBTQ movement. The First Lady appealed to the youth not to be enticed by money, favors, or by the lies that are being peddled around. She emphasized that homosexuality and all that goes with it is a grievous sin, as we hear in this story.
So I pray and implore you, do not be enticed by the money, by favors, or by the lies that are being bandied around. Homosexuality and all that goes with it is a grievous sin according to God's word.
The youth convention, convened by the Uganda Youth Forum in partnership with the Uganda Christian Lawyers Fraternity, was hosted by the First Lady at Entebbe State House. It ran under the theme, Wisdom, a steadfast work on sacred foundation, based on the book of Proverbs, chapter 4, whose central message is that true wisdom is based on our relationship with God, and which, without, we cannot make it in life. The convention was attended by many youths, physically, online via Zoom, YouTube and other social media platforms. The convention focused on instilling knowledge, understanding, discernment, and good counsel to the youth and also inspired them on embracing decision-making, emotional intelligence, insight, uncertainty, and having a life purpose. In her keynote address, Mrs. Museveni explained that the times we live in are strange, with some nations and churches affirming and approving the right of people to commit what the followers of Christ not to be seen. They are legitimizing homosexuality, or what has come to be known as LGBTQ, as a human right.
But we who believe in the Lord Jesus Christ and the unchanging word of God know that that is a grave sin for which God destroyed the people of Sodom and Gomorrah.
The First Lady hoped that the young people will not be influenced by the philosophies of this world or the apostasy that is creeping through much of the church today, and advised them to pray, to receive wisdom, look to Jesus, and pursue righteousness in his strength. I too will be praying for you, she promised. She also urged them to maintain a faith that believes God, trusts his word, walks in spirit and in truth, and that looks to our Lord Jesus Christ, who is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Using various biblical teachings, Mrs. Janet Museveni explained to the young people about the important virtues called wisdom and discernment and what they mean. She defined wisdom as a divine gift that is granted by God whenever a believer asks for it, and it is the capacity of the mind that allows us to understand life from God's perspective, and the ability to handle life with skill.
To live wisely, we must every day, as long as we live in right relationship with God. Be humble enough to acknowledge that there is a lot you do not know or understand.
She guided that to gain a heart of wisdom and to live wisely, the young people must on a daily basis be humble enough to acknowledge that God is the source of wisdom and ultimately the source of safety, and therefore ask him for wisdom and seek help from him. Other people who spoke, including Pastor Julius, Dr. James Magara, Mrs. Anne Muhaire, Pastor Martin Semper, Dr. Daniel Uheza, Pastor Stephen Langa, and Julia Mhumza also encouraged and empowered the young people with inspiring and enlightening insights and experiences on how to live a life of wisdom and faithfulness in a challenging and changing world. Reporting for UBC, Baguma William.
Now, Presidents Paul Kagame of Rwanda and William Ruto of Kenya have lauded the East African Community nations for their clear guidance in resolving the security situation in the eastern part of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. The leaders also praised Uganda for sending its UPDF troops to bolster the East African force already present in the Congo. The commendations were made during a joint press conference held at State House in Rwanda.
Kenya's President William Ruto has kick-started his two-day working visit to the Republic of Rwanda. He was received by his counterpart, President Paul Kagame, at the State House in the capital Kigali, where he inspected a guard of honor mounted by the RDF before going in for closed-door talks with his host. The two leaders later witnessed the signing of MOUs between the two countries. Addressing the joint press conference, Rwanda's President Paul Kagame underscored the relationship Rwanda has had with Kenya over the years. He indicated that the two nations and others in the EAC are united by a common vision of a more stable region.
With the involvement of the East African community, the countries so far involved, I think putting heads together, the leaders of the East African community, and by the way, also because these are people near to the problem or linked to the problem one or the other. It goes into what is so often talked about, African solutions. I think well applied, truly these would provide solutions because there is a direct stake into that, and people are close to the causes or to the problem itself.
On his part, Kenya's President William Ruto commended the EAC presidents for the clear guidance in resolving the security situation in the eastern DRC.
The good news, the positive news, is that the last 1 month has seen a lot of positive development around the challenge of security in Eastern DRC. We now have, joining the Kenyan forces that have been there for the last almost 5-6 months, Burundi have now come in. Uganda have now come in, and forces also possibly from Angola have come to support the whole effort of stabilizing Eastern DRC.
I also asked the two presidents about liberalization of the airspace amongst the East African nations.
Your Excellencies, you've highlighted that in the bilateral talks that you've had and the many that you will continue to have, you've talked about the issue of trade and cooperation between the EAC nations. And reports indicate that for us to attain seamless trade in the East African region, we need to liberalize the skies. And East Africa has a project of the open skies. So, Your Excellencies, I would like to know what is the status update of the EAC open skies? Thank you very much.
Opening up the skies, integrating communication lines, and serve very well within that framework, something that is so precious to our continent.
Have a regional airline. I think there are already consultations between Kenya Airways and South African Airways. There is possibility of consultations with Uganda Airlines, and I'm sure further down the road with all the other airlines in our region, so that we can make the skies of our countries one area and be able to move our people and services faster.
The two presidents, Paul Kagame and William Ruto, also underscored the need of African solutions for African problems. Samuel Sendono, UBC TV News in Kigali, Rwanda.
The judiciary has revealed that the new bail guidelines launched a year ago are yet to be implemented since they are still under test. Now, this was communicated by the Registrar of the High Court Criminal Division, Feston Senga, during the launch of the Judiciary Monthly Press Conference that aimed at creating public awareness of the judiciary services to Ugandans.
A computerized case.
Last year, the Chief Justice Alfonso Wunyidolo launched guidelines to complement the available laws, the amicus curiae, bail guidelines, bailiff guidelines, among others, to help the judiciary in execution of their work. However, the Deputy Registrar of the High Court Criminal Division, Feston Senga, says some of the bail guidelines are yet to be operationalized.
Our bail guidelines being received, we are still testing them. We have not really gauged the response. And we see perhaps how we'll be faring by the close of this financial year.
Senga also explained the steps required in applying for bail in the High Court.
You know, bail is in two forms. There is discretionary bail, there is a mandatory bail. Discretionary bail is given at the pleasure of court if you persuade. Mandatory bail, on the other hand, is almost automatic.
Little funding and understaffing of their counterparts, like the DPP and CID, are some of the major challenges affecting the criminal justice system.
Criminal cases at the High Court are expensive. Unlike lower courts, you have to engage a lawyer whom you pay. You have to pay these assessors I talked about, and you have to pay witnesses. We deal with the DPP and the IGG. But these institutions also lack funding and lack staffing.
A person is entitled to a refund of bailment at the end of that case, whether found guilty or innocent. This was disclosed at the launch of the Judiciary Monthly Media Press Briefing at the Judiciary Headquarters in Kampala. Rebecca Nantongo, Susan Nabugude, UBC News.
Now, the Minister of State for Internal Affairs, Lieutenant General David Muhoozi, has pledged government support to NGOs putting up projects to supplement government development agenda. He was officiating the third quarterly dialogue meeting for fiscal year 2022-2023 between NGO leaders and the Ministry of Internal Affairs.
Non-government organizations subsidize government in developing society, improving communities and supplementing the country's development agenda. But NGOs think government has ignored their contributions.
Because I had organized a dialogue like this one of different political parties in Chigezi region to just brainstorm around how can we reform or where can we improve or sustain in our elections in this country for us to promote democracy. I was put in prison.
About 5 member organizations of the National Coalition of Human Rights Defenders had been raided. All that the IIG has raised here was done. We have everything on record. The next issue, they told us that this matter is beyond foreign affairs.
In many cases, the NGOs assume that they have the right to operate anywhere in the country without even coordination or reporting or sharing information with the RDCs. And by the time the security institutions discover the damage they have done, it is unbelievable.
In a dialogue between the NGO leaders and the Ministry of Internal Affairs, security agencies and some district officials are allegedly hindering NGO performance.
The Uganda Human Rights Commission's 24th annual report on the state of human rights and freedoms in Uganda in 2021 highlighted several cases of enforced disappearances, arbitrary arrests and detentions, torture and ill treatment of suspects, among others. We witness a constitutional trail of civilians in military courts.
Torture is law, and anybody found the culprit of torture is handled by the law.
The status quo
will be maintained until the Supreme Court pronounces itself on the appeal. So that is why we shall continue entertaining civilians in military courts.
State Minister for the Ministry of Internal Affairs, Lieutenant General David Muhoozi, stated the relevance of such dialogues to government.
The NGO complement the government, but they are also supposed to do so within the regulatory framework that is in place. Some of the issues that may cause tension between the sector and security arise from failure to comply with the laws and failure to give accountability for what each party does.
The Ambassador of Ireland to Uganda, His Excellency Kevin Colgan, called for collaboration between government and non-government agencies.
It's natural to have these disagreements or differences in opinions or approaches. It happens in my own country. The most important thing is to ensure that these contradictions do not undermine the peace of the country and that key players try to resolve them in a manner that benefits the citizens of Uganda.
Mary Namkose, UBC News.
The General Court-Martial in Machindi has opened another count of treason against 32 NUP supporters. However, lawyer for the accused objected to the charge, saying it was wrongly brought against the accused, thus refusing them to take plea. Meanwhile, Mpigi High Court has confirmed Nayabare Sylvia as duly elected Member of Parliament for Gomba District after dismissing NUP's Sentamo Betty's election petition she had filed against her.
The 32 National Unity Platform supporters have appeared at the General Court-Martial in Machindi before Chairman Brigadier General Freeman Robert Mugabe to proceed with a case of unlawful possession of firearms against them. Although the case was set for hearing, this was impossible when prosecution asked court to allow them to amend the charge sheet by adding one count of treason. The prayer was, however, objected by defense, saying one of the accused, Muganza Joseph, was not in court. The defense's prayer was overruled by Chairman Brigadier General Freeman Robert Mugabe, who later read the charges of treason against the accused. After court lawyer for the accused, George Musi, raised an objection basing his submissions under Section 1 to 9 of the Constitution, saying the charges are wrongly brought against the accused.
That the particulars didn't bring out the intended particulars as it is captured under the law, because to sustain such a charge, the person may have committed those alleged warlike activities, either being sponsored by a foreign force, or when he's part of UPDF, or he's part of another force.
The prayers were objected to by the prosecution, led by Lieutenant Colonel Raphael Mugisha. Judge Advocate Colonel Richard Tukachungura directed the prosecution to make its reply on the defense's prayers come 17th April 2023. In another development, Nayebale Sylvia has been confirmed as a duly elected woman Member of Parliament for Gomba District by Mpigi High Court. This followed the court's dismissal of NOPO's Sentamo Betty's election petition that was filed against Nayebale Sylvia. Judge Ajiji Alex dismissed this petition on grounds that the petitioner failed to present to court certified DRA forms as required by a court in any election petition.
And therefore I phrase, there is therefore no evidence to support all the allegations set out above by the petitioner, and so this issue fails.
Court also said that the petitioner Sentamo failed to prove electoral offences that were allegedly committed by Nayebale Sylvia
and illegal acts committed by the second respondent, his agents, with his knowledge, consent or approval. The petitioner therefore failed to prove her allegations against the respondent.
Nayebale Sylvia, who was with the court's decision, promised to serve her voters.
My message to the opponent, to my opponent, my sister, I know it's a bitter pill to swallow, but I call her upon and her whole entire team to come and we work. We work because I believe what she has been fighting for is to get the best for the people.
NOPO's Betty Sentamo and his lawyer, who vowed to appeal against the court's decision after court addressed the media.
In various court decisions of the Court of Appeal, which is the last appellate court in electoral matters, if you wrote to Electoral Commission requesting for certified documents and they have not availed you that opportunity to give you those documents, you can as well rely on the documents that were availed to you at the various polling stations.
Whatever we have seen, we have heard in the court, that does not limit me from moving forward. But all in all, I must appeal, because it is not over until it is over.
Deborah Namamonde, UBC News.
The government is on track to restore 2.5 million hectares of degraded land by the year 2030, a move aimed at increasing the country's grain cover. This was echoed by the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Water and Environment, during the launch of the Site Species Matching Tool for Forestry. The tool helps commercial tree growers to select suitable species for particular sites in Uganda to minimize losses.
Tree farming is becoming a profitable venture given the increasing demand for wood products. Swift Geospatial and Guts Bay Africa, the developers of Site Species Matching Tool for Forestry, are collaborating with National Forestry Resources Research Institute, NAFORI, Ministry of Water and Environment, and National Forestry Authority to help commercial tree farmers minimize losses by selecting the right species of tree depending on the region. The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Water and Environment, Alfredo Kotokidi, launched the Site Species Matching Tool for Forestry in Kampala.
2, 1. Yes. I now declare the SST tool launched in Uganda.
And it gives you the option and tells you which tree species can grow in this particular area very well, those who can grow marginally, and those that are not suitable. So it helps you to make the decision on which type of tree to plant and what support or inputs you need to provide depending on the suitability.
Government is also restoring the 2.5 million hectares of degraded land by the year 2030.
Under what we call the Bond Challenge. It is one of the undertakings that countries made. It was a challenge that was made and it was in Bonn, and that is a Bonn challenge. So we identified 2.5 million hectares of land as being available and suitable for tree growing.
The Director of Forestry Resources Research Institute, NAFORI, Dr. Hilary Agaba, describes the tool as a game changer for commercial forestry.
And this has benefits of increasing the survival of the tree, getting the productivity that you desire, and that is linked to the kind of income, the kind of productivity you get, and linking to industry. So once you have the right germplasm placed in the right site, you are able to get the full productivity from that tree.
Commercial tree farming reduces pressure on the natural trees and has a direct contribution to environment conservation.
So more people into commercial forestry, using the right tree species in the right site, you are increasing on their benefit.
Afforestation counters the negative impacts of climate change that are manifesting due to environmental degradation.
TB kills approximately 30 people daily, and 247 Ugandans fall ill of TB disease every day. TB has killed dreams and families. We all deserve a chance in life to hustle, smile. We all deserve a chance to dream and be the best version of ourselves. It is preventable and curable. Know your status. TB testing, treatment, and all TB-related services are free in all government hospitals and accredited private health centers.
Talk with freedom. Get MTN Freedom voice bundles that don't expire. Dial *100 *21# or my MTN app for more bundles. Together, we're unstoppable.
This is a quick call. I'm almost out of minutes. Now, the center.
Why rush through such important conversations? Airtel Uganda has made it possible for you to call across all networks in Uganda at the best rates with the new Bona voice bundles. Stay connected anytime, anywhere, with minutes valid for calls on all networks. Dial *100*1#. Select voice bundles and select Bona voice bundles today. Airtel, the smartphone network.
This isn't just a girl. She is the future. This is a teacher, a doctor, a community leader, our future president.
She is our family's pride, and as her father, I will protect her from child marriage and talk to her about the dangers of teenage pregnancy. We each have a role to play in empowering our teenage girls to protect them from child marriage and pregnancy, because when we empower them, we empower our nation. Protect the girl, save the nation.
Take action. Report any case of defilement or child marriage to the police or call Sawuti 116.
Are you tired of high fees and slow transfer time when sending money? Look no further. Airtel Money is here to revolutionize the way you move your money. We have revised our rates, and now sending money from Airtel to other networks in Uganda, East Africa, and to the rest of the world has never been more affordable. Plus, you can trust Airtel Money to get your money where it needs to go quickly and safely. Simply dial *185# and start sending money. Switch to Airtel Money today and experience unbeatable rates and top-notch services for all your local and international money transfer needs. Airtel Money, instant, secure, borderless.
The Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, under the auspices of the East African Community, will host the 10th East African Petroleum Conference and Exhibition 2023 from the 9th to the 11th of May 2023 at the Kampala Serena Hotel in Uganda. Take full advantage of the investment opportunities in the East African region's vibrant oil and gas sector. To find out more on how to sponsor, exhibit, or attend the 10th EAPCE 23, visit www.eapce23.eac.int.
10 years of supporting health in Uganda. This year, the Kabaka Birthday Run will mark its 10-year anniversary on Sunday, 16th April at Lubidi, starting 7 a.m. and continue the fight to end AIDS by 2030. Buy your running kit today at 20,000 shillings from Airtel shops, Benchuanuka, Fubani, New Taxi Pack, or Majestic Brands office in Bulange Mengo. You can also pay using Airtel Money. Dial *185*5#. Kits purchased using Airtel Money shall be picked from Airtel Wampe or shop. Proudly sponsored by
Welcome back from that break, and this is the second and final edition of News Tonight this Tuesday, the 4th day of April 2023. My name is Rukidi Edward Kijinangoma. Now, the increasing cases of eye defects among people of Kasese district have worried experts. Now, this comes after the eye experts from Ruharo Mission Hospital pinching cap in Kasese explained how more than 2,000 people who turned up for the free screening and surgery exercise have eye defects. Take a watch.
Hospital attributes the problem of eye effects in Kasese district as a result of age.
In the current status quo, most people use technology. The more times you spend on your phones, the more you are affecting your eyes. But to those who need to keep their eyes clean, they must keep washing their face normally, ideally with soap and clean water.
You've had a poorly controlled hypertension, then it will also still go and affect your sight.
But eye problems are controlled, although there are few experts at most health facilities in the country.
Instruments and these machines are quite expensive. And what I can say the government can do, it is to build the capacity in terms of personnel, because we have very few ophthalmologists that can cover the whole country.
The Assistant Medical Superintendent for Kirembe Mines Hospital, Dr. Bernard Baliana, explains that people do not know where to get the services. Nevertheless, poverty among many Ugandans is still hindering many from seeking eye services.
Some places you find they be operating at 1 million and above. So when we come here to offer it for free, that is why we get more numbers, because people cannot afford even to travel from this area to Ruharo or to other near hospitals which offer these services.
We appeal to other health centers to carry out outdoor outreach programs to help people in their various illnesses.
Residents of Chibuku in the Bukedi sub-region of eastern Uganda have decried continuous absence of health workers from treatment centers. Now this renders access to health services difficult, a situation made worse by the absence of essential drugs in health centers. However, the resident district commissioner Chibuku, Nalongo Kwesiga, commends village health teams for the work well done in rendering health services to the locals.
It was their own version of the National Sanitation Day in the Bukedi district of Kibuku in eastern Uganda. Of concern to locals was absenteeism of health workers and shortage of essential drugs.
Prevention is better than cure. Okuzinza okusinga okolaniki okujanjaba is very expensive.
Iwa bakusasula PhD akolere okumsima kalima kakolere obache amani omukusasula tasasulwa.
But children and mothers suffer more. Resident District Commissioner Nalongo Kwesiga vows to act.
Our technical staff have let us down, whereas they are paid handsomely. They are not on the ground, and hence what is happening. I only pray that from today they will begin doing their responsibilities because they are paid handsomely.
The RDC commended village health teams for extending immunization services to the people.
The VHs have done a commendable work because they have tried as much as possible to try to woo the ladies bring their children for immunization.
National Sanitation Day was officially celebrated in Mbale 3 weeks ago. The Kibuku version also focused on improving and extending essential health services.
Kasana Redeemed Church Senior Pastor Deo Senano has lauded the Ugandan Parliament for debating and passing the Anti-Homosexuality Bill 2023 that is now waiting for presidential assent to become law. For the world to see an end to the bad vices like homosexuality, he advises perfect family and friends to avoid peer pressure that veers many off non-morals. Take a watch.
emirungi neffe no mukristo bayibuli egamba nti yesu n'abagamba nti mujje gye ndi mwe n'abakooye n'abazitwereeko nange n'abawummuza kakati ffe kituleetera okukuŋŋaanya abantu bonna era nga bw'obalabye mu bungi tubakuŋŋaanye tusobole okubeera nga tubazza eri katonda kubanga ye katonda tasosola mu bantu mu ngeri ey'omubiri twaligambye nti genda eri abantu abagasa bokka naye mu ngeri ey'omwoyo tuteeka okubeera nga abantu bonna tubasembeza tusobole okubeera nga tubavuba nga tubazza eri Katonda kubanga Yesu bwe yali atuyita agamba nkuyisa okuvuba obadde muvubi wa byennyanja kati nkuyisa ovube emyoyo gy'abantu kitegeeza bwe tuba tugenda kuvuba emyoyo gy'abantu tetuvuba mu bantu be twetaaga.
We'll now take yet another short break, but we'll be returning with the latest in business.
Talk with freedom. Get MTN Freedom Voice Bundles that don't expire. Dial *100 *21# or my MTN app for more bundles. Together, we're unstoppable.
This isn't just a girl. She is the future. This is a teacher, a doctor, a community leader, our future president.
Their support meant so much to me. And as a teenage girl, I stayed focused and was protected from child marriage and teenage pregnancy. I will support other girls against child marriage and teenage pregnancy.
Take action. Report any case of defilement or child marriage to the police or call Sauti 116.
Jerry con. Jerry con. Hey, Master Blaster. Touch him, man. Buy Jerry con with muscle. Those ones who say go for you only. Mundava. Best group is I teach you. But never come up with the squad because of the cover is very far. Is you serious? It's just you. What? Yeah? You step it on it. Add kilometers to your legs and you get your sugar. We buy meat from Umaru and Umaru refuse to give you enough meat. Mama! Show him that they don't joke with you. Umaru, Jerry car.
Okukakaluka n'okulungi kwetaagako omuntu akuyambako n'olwekyo tujja kukuteerawo embeera esaanidde osobole okukola ekisinga awamu teri kitulema.
TB kills approximately 30 people daily, and 247 Ugandans fall ill of TB disease every day. TB has killed dreams and families. We all deserve a chance in life to hustle, smile. We all deserve a chance to dream and be the best version of ourselves. It is preventable and curable. Know your status. TB testing, treatment, and all TB-related services are free in all government hospitals and accredited private health centers.
Are you tired of high fees and slow transfer time when sending money? Look no further. Airtel Money is here to revolutionize the way you move your money. We have revised our rates and now sending money from Airtel to other networks in Uganda, East Africa, and to the rest of the world has never been more affordable. Plus, you can trust Airtel Money to get your money where it needs to go quickly and safely. Simply dial *185# and start sending money. Switch to Airtel Money today and experience unbeatable rates and top-notch services for all your local and international money transfer needs. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Welcome back. Now let's have a look at what's happening in the world of business, and we begin in Busia. Now, over 27,000 beneficiaries of the Parish Development Model Funds in Busia today stormed the district headquarters as district officials charged with the responsibility of managing the PDM funds started disbursing them. But their disappointment, only one beneficiary received 1 million shillings. Now, the disbursement schedule from the line ministries of finance and local government indicates that Busia district has received over 1.9 billion shillings towards the successful implementation of the program, but out of the 27,000 beneficiaries, only one has received. However, the Busia District Chief Administrative Officer Nasa Mukibi appealed to the 27,000 targeted beneficiaries from the 62 parish circles to remain patient as efforts to verify their authenticity are underway. We have a detailed story.
Of the 27,822 parish development model targeted beneficiaries in Busia district, Beatrice Nafula, a resident of Mira village, Masafu sub-county, becomes the first lucky beneficiary to be cashed 1 million shillings aimed at elevating her from subsistence to commercial farming. Upon receiving a notification of 1 million shillings on her phone, Beatrice was later handed over a payment voucher at Centenary Bank by district heads before heading to Masafu prison grounds for the official launch of the disbursement exercise. It is here that she was handed over a check. Speaking to UBC TV, Nafula showed optimism of becoming a better person than she has been before.
Manyire ndi ku million government yimbere mu program ino ndicho kulake ngoko nga bibiri oba 10 nindi nende ku obukakavumbwe kusoma yisomeremo haba sesi nducho tuka nole nguseko nole sesi mbeko nakasende musawo nole sasudeko nabana bange fizi nole nguleke ngombe nguleke mbusi.
With the disbursement process initiated with only one beneficiary in the district, Busia Chief Administrative Officer says most of the beneficiaries' applications are still undergoing verification.
There are people whose household income is higher, but they have been captured under the PDM as beneficiaries. So when you receive that concern, I ask the parish chiefs and the district PDM implementation committee to ensure that the people who are benefiting are the rightful beneficiaries and be able to weed out those ones who are not supposed to benefit. So that has been the reason as to why we have had only a few cases at the time of the launch.
Mochibi, however, calls on the rest of the beneficiaries to be a little patient, saying that the district technocrats are working out all possibilities to ensure all targeted beneficiaries in the program are attended to.
We are hopeful that in a period of 2 weeks, the cleanup will be done and then the program will be enrolled to cover the entire district.
Busia being a business district, the disbursement of funds are hoped to cause transformation in the area.
If somebody has picked this money as per the guidelines set, among which you have a budget for these resources, you have a work plan of how to implement the activity, and you have also gone ahead to ensure that proper accountability is put on this money, is a step, and if all is followed to the latter well, I put this shall be able to improve our businesses and shall be able to improve the household incomes of these people.
But to the resident district commissioner, the project will only cause impact in the district if the beneficiaries put the cash into good use, promising to closely monitor the project.
And we shall also assess the impact of the program, because the impact is our direction. We want to see this person who has been a subsistence farmer. How has this program impacted him? How has he been able to transit from subsistence to commercial? That if he's a farmer, he has been able to grow what is enough for him to eat. And he has also remained with what he can deliver into the marketplace.
Recently, Busia district local government received over 1.9 billion shillings to support parish development model program aimed at lifting 39% of Uganda's population from subsistence farming into the money economy.
Stakeholders from various sectors have discussed the development of smart cities using technology. The American Tower Corporation is leading the way alongside telecom companies, banks, Kampala Capital City Authority and Uganda Communications Commission. The focus is on key sectors of transport, health, banking and public services. Mark Wadulu Arnold gives us more.
Dorothy Samanda, CEO at ATC, seems to appreciate the potential of smart cities in Kampala. She mentioned that ATC is leveraging its expertise in building telecom masts to contribute to the development of smart infrastructure in Kampala.
Digital health systems, because their population is aging, they do video medical consultations, so people don't have to walk to their national referral hospital.
One of the key technologies that will play a crucial role in the development of smart cities is 5G. This high-speed mobile network will allow for the seamless integration of various smart city applications such as traffic management, remote healthcare, and smart banking.
In terms of how we can apply technology, why do you have to sit in a jam if you can get a warning either by your phone or on a billboard to change direction, to monitor? These are low-hanging fruits that we can realize even as soon as tomorrow.
The COVID-19 pandemic affected the tech advancement agenda for digital solutions and remote services. This multi-stakeholder vision leverages the pandemic's impact and accelerate the development of smart cities in Kampala.
So you should be able to increase. We believe that as we increase more users onto the network, through affirmative actions like device financing, we have different partnerships with people who produce and distribute devices. We are going to see the average cost of data going down.
As part of their corporate social responsibility, ATC is enabling technology adoption in various regions around the country, like the Tech Center in Busega, that provides young people access to digital resources and training.
What support is required to actually transition Kampala from what is potentially a crowded area to what we can proudly say is a smart city?
The development of smart cities is a long-term goal that requires collaboration and commitment from all stakeholders.
Sandra Kahunde with that story there. Now, property worth millions of shillings has been destroyed in the morning fire outbreak at Keshwala factory in Jinja City. Police say the fire started at around 4 a.m. raising Keshwala factory stores located at Walukuba in Jinja City. The stores had car tires, car batteries, candles, and some trucks were also damaged. Police have started investigations to ascertain the cause of this fire outbreak.
Nate tulina ne bannafu ekakita nairo plan ne kafu ezimu tena tuli wano abataka community bali wano mulaba abakozi ba wano bali wano tukola tewali tukuze wano mu wano ne tulwanyisa omuliro nga bwe tuli mukola ebyebizimbe ebisatu singa biri.
It's a very sad morning in the southern division. One of our investors are meeting Keshwala. One of the warehouses is burned down. But in that warehouse, not only has it been one, but it had 3 companies. There are 3 companies employing about 1,500 staff. But it's unfortunate that at the moment, we have lost that as Southern Division, which is going to create unemployment, and the security as well for the area is going to be a problem. But as in this hard trying times, I would like to say
Sports news now, and we begin with swimming, where Uganda Sports has continued to raise the flag following exploits at the South Africa Level 3 Swimming Championships. John Burns Sentamo gives us more.
The Eastern Gauteng Aquatic Centre in South Africa has witnessed Ugandan's excellence during the South Africa Level 3 Swimming Championship. Uganda was represented by Gators Swim Club that posted good results and will return with 17 medals from the 11 swimmers. The team included a team captain Kirabo Namotebi, 14-year-old Tara Kisauzi who won 6 medals, Paloma Kirabo and Hir Usadadia who won 4 gold medals and 2 silvers.
We have recently concluded the level 3 championships held here in Johannesburg. I am satisfied with the performance the team put up, considering it was the first time some of these people swam in a 50-meter pool, which is a long course Olympic standard pool. We had multiple medals, which I'm really proud of, but I'm most proud of the personal bests that they put up in this competition. The environment was a bit different from what we're used to in terms of weather, in terms of, again, competition pool, and in terms of the way the competition format is, but they still managed to persevere, and regardless from the challenges we faced, I think we did a pretty good job.
Team coach Mwanguzi Muzafa prides in the experience that allowed the team witness intense competition and in an Olympic-sized 50 meters pool.
The unique thing about this event, which is that the numbers were big, and also the level of swimming was diverse, that it would almost cater for everybody, but most importantly it would give at least different tones in terms of racing, and I think that was good for the development of our swimmers as compared to some galas that are already standardized at one stage, that they cannot give an opportunity to some of the swimmers who are younger.
Mwanguzi also relishes the opportunity that entered Uganda's swimmers into the South African database, which is widely recognized by World Aquatics. John Barnes, Sentamo, YBC News.
Uganda's best athletes from last month have received their 40-bit Real Stars Awards at an event hosted at Lazio Restaurant in Kololo. Take a watch.
At the end of every month, the best athletes from select sports disciplines are rewarded by the 40-bet Real Stars.
Yeah, everything has been successful as we wanted. I don't know whether just because it has been the holy month of Ramadan or a Lent where people are trying to repent, but everything has moved on so smoothly. We had 7 categories. At this time we included, because last time we had 6, this time we had 7. Even that's made a debut on our podium. They have never come here, but this time they came. So we think positivity is in what you are doing.
For the month of March, footballer Rogers Mato, table tennis player Pavin Nangonzi, darts star Sarah Makanga, woodball icon Joyce Nalubega, rugby's Colin Chimbowa, the rally team of Yasin Nassa and Ali Katumba, and boxer Tib Mwonge have been decorated.
Winning
this award has motivated me to work more harder and put in more efforts.
I feel very good and I feel so happy for this award.
Whenever you go out there and compete and you're successful, you expect to be appreciated, and this is a very good initiative from the Real Star Sports Awards.
I'm so grateful to win this award. It is my first time, and even I thank my competitors, because whenever the woodball is an individual game, but when you come to our game, you see people who have, if you don't have that spirit of staying in the game, automatically you can just come for 2 events and 3 events and just walk away.
The 40-bet Real Star Awards have been a mainstay in Uganda since 2018 and have played a big role of improving competition, with winners taking home a plaque and a cash reward.
The purpose is to motivate these guys. We want them to be so active. We want them to compete favorably, because you cannot have a national team when down there at the club level people are not competing so well. So when they know they're getting something at the end of the month, they put in more effort. In the long run, we get a national team which has a backbone.
And now, before we leave you, let's have a quick reminder of our top stories. And our top stories: the First Lady Janet Museveni implores youth to shun homosexuality. Presidents Kagame of Rwanda and Ruto of Kenya hailed pacification of the DRC. ICT committee meets UBC top management led by the line minister Dr. Chris Baryomunsi. And in sports, Gators Swim Club shines in South Africa. And that brings us to the end of this second and final edition of News Tonight here on UBC this Tuesday, the 4th day of April 2023. My name is Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma, and on behalf of the entire news crew tonight, I wish you a blessed night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
This song is taken from Matthew chapter number 27, verse number 21 to 23. And it's about two criminals, and that is Jesus and Barnabas, where the crowd demanded for the release of Barnabas, and they demanded that Christ should be crucified. But let me say this, that brothers and sisters, it is very important that Christ was crucified to redeem us. If they had not released, or if they had not demanded for Barnabas, in whatsoever case they had, I think our life would be really so bad. But we thank God Christ was crucified so that we can be with the God the Father forever and ever.